Hey, camera speed, sound speed on the car with the camera.
Sound speed. Put that color chart. All right.
Got the color chart.
Yep, slated.
I'm about to sleep.
Marzetta, Reeves, take one.
Stand by.
I need you in here though.
Huh?
Don't you want to get back through it?
I do,
Come
but
on, yeah, come on.
I settle, still roll.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Whenever you're ready.
All right, cool. Well, Ms. Marzetta, thank you for making time for us here and everything. So I want to start off with you just telling us who you are, where you're from, and tell us about the kids that you have.
My name is Marzetta Reeves. I'm from New York, Brooklyn. I was born here and raised in New York, in Brooklyn. Then I came back here to my mother and my grandmother. Then I had Matthew. He was the joy of my life. He made me happy. On the worst day, it just made you feel real, like you was somebody. I miss my son. All I know is Matthew was accused of killing Mr. Willie Johnson. Next thing I know, they were getting ready to execute my baby for Mr. Willie Johnson's death. Matthew is an innocent man because I say that was and always gonna be innocent to me. Because when he first went to court, they withheld evidence from him and his lawyers. My son was shot in his head. And he stayed in the hospital 3 or 4 days. Then he came home. They didn't tell me where to take him to or who to take him to get a treatment from the gunshot wound. Then when I brought him out and brought him home, 2 months later, they accused him of killing Mr. Willie Johnson. Matthew didn't run. Matthew told him, say, Mom, I'm innocent, Mom. I didn't kill nobody. I don't know why they picked on my son. They came to my house looking for my son. They handed me a piece of paper. They gave me a piece of paper, told me to sign my name on it. They think I know. They don't wrote what they want on it and said that I gave them permission to come in my house and exert evidence, take whatever they wanted to take because the water meter at 2128 Selma Avenue had got broken. And they blamed me for it because it was in my name. That's theft of water. So they used it against me to do what they wanted to do. They used to pick at me and my children, whoever stayed at 2128 Selma Avenue. All the kids, my grandmother, my mother, my dad, and myself. 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, anything happened in Selma, they was at 2128 Selma Avenue, looking for Matthew and Julius Reed. So when that New Year's Eve, they came to the house looking for my boys. I went to my grandmother's house in the project, and I was cooking my macaroni and my dressing because my oven wasn't working. So I went there. When I came back home, Man, Judy wasn't there. My daughter, she wasn't there. We was at my grandparents' house. But anyway, long story short, after a couple days, they said that my two sons had killed Mr. Willie Johnson. Officer Grindle had brought Matthew to the house to get something. I don't know what he came to get. Well, anyway, I told him he couldn't come in without a search warrant or some kind of warrant to get whatever he was looking for. But I told him Matt and Judy wasn't at home. Next thing I know, I went to sleep and I woke up with police all surrounding the house. So it was 1996, November 27th, 1996. The worst hour and the worst day of my life. Oh, Lord. Then they got my other son. Him and the girl named Brenda, they call her Bam Bam. I don't know nothing about her being a girl. I just know that she was with him one day, and I asked them not to have him or her hanging around. But anyway, they got them somewhere in Montgomery or wherever, Julius and her. They stripped him butt naked and told him to run. Miss Brenda told him, from what I heard, she told him not to run because they'll shoot you down dead. So when he got there to the city, Matt was already gone to the camp. When he got there, he was on the third floor. They put a gun in my son's mouth. We won't say who said it, but I know it's true because by the time I got up there to the city police station, they had already expedited and took both of my boys to the county jail. Matthew was 18, Julius was 16. What was my 16-year-old doing in an adult facility when they had a juvenile facility at that time in Selma, which was right next door. But long story short, this return of Michael Jackson had evidence, and he knew that Matthew did not shoot Mr. Willie Johnson. He had evidence. He had the Conquest of Brenda Setter's statement amended to bodily harm in Mr. Willie Johnson. So that clearly stated that could have got my son Matthew another trial or helped him not being killed, not being on death row, could have let him get life without. But in Hall versus Florida, they considered him to be disability, intellectual with disability, and his IQ, but that he only had one form of paper. Why is they biased? They didn't let, they were trying to say that Matthew went into elected disability in the beginning of the trial, and Selma. They say my baby was on the borderline of being mentally retarded If he's on the borderline of being mentally retarded, then he had issues with his health and mental ability. I had him up on a mental health, me and my other siblings. It was a group session to try to understand what was going on, what wasn't going on with my children beforehand for all of this happened. But Lord knows I'm telling the truth. I can honestly say. When Matthew was shot in his head, he went through traumatically a lot of stuff behind that gunshot wound to his head. I'm not going to elaborate on his lawyers after that. I'm just going to say this. The lady that was, the attorney that was representing my son, Miss Lopez, I want to be very careful because I don't want to get hurt and I don't want nobody to hurt me. And I don't want to get sued or have nobody sue me. But if you his lawyer and you know he got disabilities, it's a disability act that she could have used to help determine. She could have brought, like, misconduct of jury and all that back to Dallas County. I think if she had just brought something back in Dallas County, it would have better sufficiently demonstrated the innocence of my son. I'm not being biased. I've never been for the death penalty, and I never will. They need to abolish it. No matter what a person do or what a person doesn't do, it's not going to bring that person back. It's just going to cause more pain for the person that lost a loved one and a person finna lose a loved one. It's the same exact thing. When I had my child and he got shot on his front porch in his head, the police didn't do anything about that. They didn't go through the regime that they went through for Mr. Willie Johnson. What is it? Is they stereotype Matthew? Did they just didn't care? I don't know. But I do know this, and I don't care who knows. I'm trying to reach out to all y'all young mothers and all y'all that got children on death row. You better wake up and help your children. Be there for your children. Understand your child. Talk to your children before it's too late. Because the way that we going now, that killing machine gonna kill all of our black youth, all our black men. We're gonna have no one to raise the girls or the boys of this world. All over the world we lose. It's not just my family. It's all over the world. Matthew was well known all over the world because he was a pen pal to anybody that he could be talk to. He drawed, oh my God. He could draw anything you wanted him to draw. I remember when he brought me a picture of a tennis shoe before Michael Jordan came out with the Jordan. My baby had those drawers. Matthew been multiply talented. Anything he see one time, he can do. He had disabilities. He had trouble. He was very hyper. He was a hyperactive child. But he was never disrespect his elders. He never let nobody harm the elders. He won't let you disrespect the elder people. He said, come on, man. He'll say, come on, man. Y'all don't do that. These are elderly people around us. We have to have respect for them. My son have took food out of my refrigerator to go around the corner to feed somebody that didn't have anything to eat. I see my son take his shirt off in the cold and give it to someone that didn't have a shirt off. He would give you his coat off his back. And Mac could feed you or whatever he had to do. Matthew Reeves would do it for you. I don't care how mean and cruel they say that my son was, how forceful they say he was. But I think if anybody hits you, you're going to hit them back. But killing that man, something went mighty wrong. Something went mighty wrong. He stopped to help somebody. And he wound up dead. But there's 5 of them. Why did they have to say my Matthew killed anyone? All I know is y'all might think I'm biased, but young women and young men, get y'all heads together. Stop striving to kill one another and start striving to live for one another. Because time and time again, I always told my children, don't see no color, black, white, blue, purple. If you cut your hand and I cut mine, it's the same color blood. We need to get ourselves together, young mothers. If we don't get ourselves together, we're never gonna have no black and men, no young men. You need to take your children and take them to the mortuary. Let them look at the dead people there. Let them see what guns do for you. Set your children down and tell them we're not all slaves. We all come from a slavery environment. But we came from a racial and bias. Because of the creed and the color of my skin. That's where the hatred comes from. But you could be so loving and tenderness if you just take time to just talk to your neighbor, talk to your family. Let your family know how you feel. Let your neighbor know how you feel. Let the next person know how you feel. Until then, it's not loving one another. We still being biased. I feel that prisons are just modern day slave owners. They take your children, they lock them down. You never get to see them. They pulled my children away from me, and I didn't even know that I had to fight for them. It had been a welfare of anybody that touched my children, anybody that know I would have snatched their ass back. And I'm just being honest. And that's a fact. Not no friction. That's a fact. You don't take one of mine, and I don't go and take you and get my baby back. But they took him, and I couldn't snatch him back in time. But I do know the last 4 days that I spent with Matthew was the best 4 days I ever had in my life since I had him. We didn't cry, we smiled, we looked at one another, and we showed love to one another. Like he said, Mama, is that really my mom? Is that really my mama? That's the look I got from Matthew. Is that really my mama I'm seeing? Let me touch your hands, son. I touched his hands like that. Matthew took his hands and did. He used to do this all the time with a little tap. It made a little beat, like a little beat you can move to. He did it for me. He said, Mama, why you always make me do that? I said, that let me go back to my baby. When you played on the little.
Ms. Marzetta, let's hold up for a second. Let's stop for a second. We need to touch you up a little bit more.
Okay, speed,
Camera speed.
sound speed.
Sound is speeding on camera.
Marzetta Reeves, take 2.
Stand by.
Good. All right. Well, Ms. Marzetta, tell us about Matthew as a child. What kind of child was he? And then talk about some of the mental issues that he had that you guys discovered when he was a child.
Okay. When I had Matthew here and said, we went back to New York, and I stayed with my mom. I went to school, and Matthew stayed at home with my mother, with my nephew. But he was happy. He would take a little, pot and put it right in between my leg where he would be with my book, like my book right here, my son there, Matthew playing the little drum, and I was reading. Then as he got older, we went to Cincinnati. We stayed. He went to school there. Him and me, Matt, Julius, and my daughter, which he called Queen. Was her name? She named after me. Her name Marzetta, same as mine, but she had a middle name named Lachelle. Well, Matthew was quite a little active fella. Actually, he gave me a run for my money. Like, when you sitting down, he don't sit down for long. He's just go. But when he went to school there, he did pretty good. really did his work. And he loved being around his kids and my uncle and my auntie. He used to tell me all the time, Mom, why we gotta go back to Alabama? Why we can't stay in Cincinnati? So we stayed that year. He went to school. That summer, that year, my grandmother got sick. And I was very close. Matthew was very close to his grandma. Not my mama, but my mother's mother, Miss Alberta. Matthew loved his grandma Alberta. They were real tight. He was close to my mother too. They had their little difficulties, so did I. My mother, well, I had a mother and a father. Some children, black children, don't usually get. I was raised in a family with a mother and a father. I went to school. I had a sister. She had a baby before me. She was my little sister. But anyway. Oh boy. Anyway. I was a good student. I did my work. My mother kept my child. She kept my sister baby. I just couldn't handle it. I had to just leave New York. His father. Well, anyway, that's another story. But his father, Matthew missed his father. Julius's father was Matthew's father. They were real close. He taught him how to work. He taught him how. Like I said, you could teach him something, show him something. It just clicked. Matthew was a good boy. He could be led now. You know, like a bunch of children. Most of the time, I just have a bunch of children in my yard because I didn't want him to go far off from me. I had Matthew. I would make little sandwiches. I remember making little sandwiches for the little football team in Craig Field. When we stayed out there, he was on the little football team. He make a sandwich, give them Kool-Aid. He pretty decent. If you mess with, like I said, Matt was just a sweet person, but if you took something from him, he was gonna take it back. He was gonna get it back. One way or the other. I just think he was bullied a lot by him being so short like me. And they picked on him a lot at school. But he wasn't a coward. Never a coward.
Let me ask you this.
What I mean by that, not so much as fighting. He just stood up to what he thought was right. If he thought that you were wrong for hitting him or doing something to him, he would tell you, you wrong. Call my mama. Call my grandma. You wrong. I want to go home. You know, if he was at school, call my parents. Call my auntie. No.
When did you find out or discover that Matthew had an intellectual disability? When did you find out?
When he was in, let's see, between 4th, 5th, 4th, 5th, and 6th grade. Because when Matthew was, he was supposed to be in the 6th or the 7th grade, he was still in the 5th grade. So, what's that school? I'm trying to think of the schools now. What's that school? I know it was right there off of Jeff Davis. I remember the principal name, Miss Savage. She told the school board that Matthew needed to be socially promoted to a higher grade because of his age. But they gave him a test. You know how you give your child a test, what he can do and what he can't do. That's when I learned. Because he was a grade behind what he's supposed to be. And I think that was the 4th grade, like I said, at Southside Elementary. The lady gave him a test. You know, I asked them to give them I forgot what kind of test it is. You know, when your words come together and stuff like that. It's not intellectual disability, but it's a part of intellectual disability, though. He was having trouble reading and he was getting D's and B's mixed up. I noticed then. And he was a young boy then. I was helping him 3rd or the 4th grade at Little Southside. I was working there and he passed out. Matthew passed out and I took him to the doctor. And I told them to do a CBC scan on his head. Because he was falling out every other day. He get hot at the outside in the school and he would just pass out. So I asked them to do a CBC scan, and that's when I found out that Matthew had emotional difficulty. And when I took him to mental health, because the mental health people told me if he didn't want to talk, it was something to the talk. If he couldn't talk to a one-on-one, you know, while I was in there, they would say, well, Miss Reeves, you step out, maybe he'll talk to me then, and stuff like that. I know that then he would hit pillows and stuff like that, you know, to get his anger out. But come to find out he was just missing it. He wanted his real daddy. And he wanted to know who he was and stuff like that. So once or twice, I think before he died, he got before Matthew went to, then he went to Job Corps, and they really elevated, you know, how you say the word? Elevated, you know, evaluated. Yeah, they really evaluated him then. That's when I really found that he had emotional, the intellectual thing, something wrong. Because they did 2 evaluations. They did an evaluation to let him in the Job Corps. And then they did him an evaluation when he left Job Corps. So when he left Job Corps, he had to go to some kind of program with a group home, like that's where the lady Beverly Sona had something to do with it. His stepmom by Mr. Stratman. She picked him up because he was in a group home.
Can we hold on for a second? Let me, cause your shoes are squeaking. Your shoes are squeaky. We can hear your shoes. Can you put your legs like that for me, please? There you go. There you go.
Okay.
Awesome.
I'm sorry.
No,
I had
you're
to keep
fine.
them like this.
No. It's just the shoes. We can hear your shoes moving. Squeaking.
Oh, okay.
So it happens. Don't worry about it.
Okay. But he had to go to job. Well, he went to job corps. Then something happened at job. Well, he went to job corps. When he came home, after he left job corps, he went with his dad, Anthony Richardson.
Mm-hmm.
He went with him about twice. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4 times.
So, Miss Marzetta, I need to interrupt you for a second.
Come on.
Let me get back to these questions a little bit, because I want to get to you telling me about when Matthew was shot in the head. Okay. So talk to us about what happened with that, and how that trauma affected him.
Affected me.
Affected
Him.
Yes.
Okay. When Matthew was shot in his head on the porch, on my front porch, I didn't know right then, but he crawled.
Okay, we need to reframe. Hold on 1 second. We just need to reframe. Real quick. Yeah. All right, thank you.
You okay?
Yeah, we're good now.
Okay. But anyway, Matthew was shot on the front porch. I could hear something beating up on the door. And I opened the door. At first, I didn't see my baby. Then I looked down, and there was Matthew shot in his head. Don't ask me how he living, 'cause I can't tell you. All I did was tell them to get me a white towel, one of those thick white towels, and I took it, you know how you swing it like this, and wrapped it around his head like you do a gurney, and holding my hands here, cause see, if you hold your hands in the temple area, that keep the blood from gushing out. And I didn't see no blood from the back of his head, but I know he hit cement. Anyway, long story short, the paramedic didn't want to move Matthew. So his stepfather, which was the one you met today, Robert, he called him Papa. But anyway, he took him, and the other man they picked him up and put him on the gurney and kept the man in the ambulance. But he was sideswiped. You know what I mean by that? Like somebody come up from the back of you, the side of your house, and then they shoot. That's what they said, because of the way the bullet went in his head. The doctor said he had to be sideswiped. So when the bullet hit him in the head, it bounced off here, went up under here, and lodged in here, and went to his back. And when Matt demised, it was still near the spine of his back. They never got it out. 11 doctors worked on my son. They never got the bullet out. When I don't know how they do autopsy, but when they did the autopsy, I asked them, did they find the bullet? told me no. I ain't see my book.
Okay.
Well, I don't know what else you want me to.
Well, I'm gonna keep going. That's good. That's good. That's what I wanted to hear.
Okay.
Did you notice a change in Matthew once he was after he got shot in the head? Was, we talked about intellectual disability and everything.
Yeah.
So what changes did you see in him?
Okay, like I said, when I did that and I put that on him, I went to the hospital. They arrested me, by the way, the same day he got shot.
Why?
I had to go up to the police station for the water thing I took. They wouldn't let me go. I had, it just, boy, I've been through something. Well, anyway, long story short, well, the reason I said I understood about Matthew intellectual disability early, because when Matthew was shot at Callaway Hospital, when he was there with he went from the 9th floor down. He started coming down. So the last floor he got on, they were taking the IVs. So my son had tubes everywhere. When I finally got there, tubes started popping off of him. He said, a nurse, there's a male nurse, but he said, why did you take that off of him? I said, I ain't taking that off of him. It just popped. I got to call the doctor to tell the doctor I need to put the IV back in Matthew. I said, you're not going to put no IV back in my son's arm right now. It's swollen up. I'm talking about it was big as my thumb, all over. But anyway, when see, Matthew doesn't know about his head yet. That's why I keep on proceeding to lead up to his head. Because at this point, he doesn't even know he's swole. I mean, he knows his arms and all of that, but he don't know nothing about his head. So
let's skip to the night of the murder of Mr. Willie Johnson. Can you talk to us just a little bit about what happened? Because you talked about how, or there's, I read about Detective Grindle, saying that he had consent. You signed a consent form, but you told people that you didn't sign a consent form, right? So talk to us a little bit about what happened there.
okay, when Detective Grindle, and then like I said, they swarmed the house. What I mean by that, they had police all the way around the house and woke me up. They knocked on the door and they asked for Matthew and Jules. I said, Matthew and Jules are not here. Can I go back to sleep, please? Close the door. Now you gonna let me in? I said, no, I don't have to let you in. Y'all always threatening me. I don't have to let you in. Where your search warrant is? You know you gotta have a search warrant coming in folk house. Especially 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. Again, 2 or 3, it was like 2 something. And they got us up. And they kept us up to me and my daughter. my friend, which is my, I will say my husband, been together so long. My daughter, her friend, from 2 to 8 o'clock in the morning, trying to get me to say that Matthew and Jews killed that man. I wasn't there. I don't know what they did. I can't say what they did and what they haven't did. But I do know they didn't kill nobody at my house. What they said was done. They said they had a trail of blood coming from the back of my house. I ain't seen no blood. Could be, could not have been. I mean, if you seen something, my perspective of a police officer, if you suspect something going on around my house, why not take it? Come on, let me take you to this right here. What happened right here? If it was blood right there, when you take me there? That's their job, right? Okay. None of that was done. But like I said, he gave me a piece of paper. And he said, sign. Put your name on that, Miss Reeves, for me. And that's all I did. Next thing I know, he go outside and come back in. It's a whole squad. So what you call it? If I give you a blank piece of paper and tell you sign your name on it, and you give it back, I give it, you get it back. Before, like I said, we all had to go to the police station after.
You get your feet right this way. Right there you go. There you go. Awesome.
Well, I had to go to the police station after. They were there from 2 in the morning to 8 daybreak. 2 at night and 2 8 o'clock that morning. Asked the same question.
Okay.
You're mad to it. What do you say? I don't know. Somewhere with their girlfriend. That's all I know. They go with all the girls, and they somewhere with the girlfriends. That's what I knew about them. They let me know Mom was going to chill with my girlfriend. Well, that's what boys do when they reach a level age where they doing what they do. So, all I know is they didn't make no bond. They didn't get no what call that, bondsman here, lower the bond or whatever. None of that happened that I know of. And then he was accused of 11 murders, if you want to really know the truth.
Matthew was accused of 11 murders.
You tried to say he killed a lot of people. Every murder that happened in Selma, they try to say my son did. So if he had pleaded guilty to Willie Johnson murder, then they would have been able to put all of them on him. That's true fact.
So talk to me about the trial, the murder trial, and the trial lawyers. You talked about Jody Lopez, who represented your son Matthew.
After Mr. Westcott got off.
Yeah. So you were talking about how she didn't do, or you didn't feel like his defense attorney did all they could do. You know, they didn't hire the neuropsychologist
Mitigated.
or anything.
Mitigated.
So talk to me about that. Talk to me about what happened with that.
Well, eventually, Miss Lopez was with Mr. Auburn, Brian Auburn. Then she became the head counselor when he became a judge. And it went from there. But Miss Lopez didn't consider nothing that my son said because I figured that she was listening to him when he asked her to file a Rule 32 and bring the petition back for the jury and the other stuff I said, jury misconduct and bias that the judge didn't refuse himself because he had just did I don't know what's it called, all miss, when you go in the judge's chamber and you confess to a crime, and then the next thing you know, that person Brenda Southers, and then that person come out and testify against you later on. So I guess that's what they call it. Well, anyway, she like I said, they were told that from the lawyers, the other lawyers, they took all his rights from him. Mr. Auburn, like constitutional rights. Matthew lost them one time because in between that for I think it's a 16-month issue or 12, a year or 18-month issue. Matthew lost a lot of his rights. Then Brad he just showed up at my door, God sent. Never charged me a dime. But he came to me, he said, Miss Reeves, I know you need help. I know you need help. I said, yes, sir, I do. He said, you mind if I help you with Matthew? I said, no, I appreciate it. Whatever you can do for him. The courthouse, they lost his records up there and said my son could have been dead before this. Like I said, Brad had got his 6 of his rights back before he had to get off of his case. So then Jody Lopez, she took over. It was Jody Lopez, Kelly, Melissa, what's that other lady name? All I know, Ariella, and there was a man. She promised Matt she was coming to my house. That lady never showed up to my house to this day. And my son is dead because of her negligence. I said.
So what was the deal? They did not hire an expert to, they did not hire an expert to,
No, Jordan did not. She didn't hire anybody. She told Matthew that she was gonna do it her way. She didn't have to do the way he wanted her to do. And Matthew told her that this is my life that's on the line. You living life outside of a cell 5x7. But I'm living in a 5x7 cell. And she made little smart remarks, and she was doing it pro bono, so she didn't feel like she had to do nothing he asked her to do. She was gonna do it the way she wanted to do. Like I said, he asked her way before they were time for him to get executed, way before it was time for any of this to go on. Asked for the jury misconduct to come to Selma to the Dallas County courthouse. That the misconduct and something else. I can't remember what it was.
was it
But
the intellectual disability was it the fact that he wanted her to file for intellectual disability?
yeah, he wanted her to file, what's that paperwork called? ADA, you know,
Yeah, American Disabilities.
yeah. He wanted her to file that before he met Allison. It was two men that visited him first, but we'll get off into that. But like I said, he asked her to file an ABA paper on disability people, mentally disability people. The reason he said that because he had all the court papers were the court here had got a medical doctor in Selma. When he first went to trial, like I said, the defense did. Their doctor said that Matthew was on the borderline of being mentally retarded. So they carried the mental issue. So when he went and got a mental evaluation in 2000, and I don't really remember, but I know she didn't get it did. He filed something with Gordon and Wilker, the other attorney before her. He filed something in effect
Some water?
attorneys or whatever.
Okay. And let me get your feet uncrossed again. I know it's hard to remember that. Let me get your feet like this. There you go.
Oh, I forgot. It's goes by motion. I'm sorry.
It's okay. You don't have to apologize.
But what I'm saying is, only way we got the ABA thing done wasn't with Jody. Jody didn't do it. A lady named a public defender. Her name is Allison of Montgomery. Federal Defenders of Montgomery. Allison and Lucy, and they whole team.
Hold on for a second, let's let the train.
I forgot about that. She was down
I forgot they had trains down
there.
there.
Yeah, you remember it when they started making all that.
Yeah,
noise.
Okay. So tell me about Allison. Tell me about Allison. Really, you were talking about how Jody did not file for ADA, and she didn't file to try to help your son as far as intellectual disability. So what did Allison do? Allison came in and filed?
Well, Miss Allison and her crew, they came in, which is I don't know the man's name. It's a gentleman. I think his name started with an H. I'm not sure. Hugh. Well, anyway, her little staff. It was Bernard and what's that man's name? I got it on the tip of my tongue. But Bernard was the investigator that worked with her. And I forgot the other white man name. Excuse me, Caucasian man. But anyway, it was Allison came to my house. Miss Lucy came to my house. And they asked me some personal questions. They said, Miss Reeves, I said, ma'am. She said, I come to see if I can help. Your son said that you would give us permission. I said, permission for what? Like that. And I said, well, one of my sons. She said, I'm talking about Matthew. I said, what is it that you want to do for Matthew, Allison, Miss Allison? She said, I want to help him. I said, tell me what you want, what you're trying to do. She said, first of all, I want to give permission to file an ABA. And I said, what's that? She said, it's for disability people. Health, what it is, mentally disabled, retarded, whatever, all of that. She said, would you mind me helping them like that? I said, well, if he said gave you permission to do it, go ahead. He said, but with him being disabled, do you understand that he's disabled? I said, yes, ma'am. I didn't know my baby was disabled to a point. She said, well, why didn't anybody help you? I said, I don't know. She said, have you ever been to mental health with him? I said, yes, ma'am. She said, if I get a release form, could I get those, papers stating that he been to mental health and that he do have a mental issue? I said, yeah. She said, I can't get it like that. And you gonna put it in writing for me? I said, only way I put it in writing for you is you put your joint hand for put your signature first, and then I put mine. But I gotta see the writing. She said, I got an application right here. She said, want me to read it to you or you gonna want to read it to yourself? I said, I can pretty much read for myself, but you go ahead. Read it. I said, when you read it, then I'm gonna read it. I ain't saying nothing else. She said, what you mean nothing else? I said, every time I sign a piece of paper, it get me in trouble. Look like it go against me instead of for me. She said, what you mean? Matthew told me something like that. She said, the Matthew told me that they entered your house without permission, that they just scared you, use a scared tactic. I said, well, that's what you want to call it. So that's when she said, Matthew is emotionally disabled, intelligent disabled. I said, how you tell that? I been to see your son. I said, you been where? She said, I been to see Matthew. Some of my people been to see Matthew. And I'm going next week and see him myself. I said, oh, really? Shocked. No. I ain't believing that nobody said. Ain't nobody helped them all this time. Ain't nobody come. No. They just bull crap. That was just my personal pick. Till Matthew called me later on that evening and said, Ma, I got some good news and I got some bad news. I said, what the good news is, Matthew? I said, I found somebody that's willing to help me, Ma, but you got to be willing to help me. Well, what you want me to do, Matthew? She said, Ma, you got to sign your name. And I said, no, I'm not going to sign my name to nothing no more. Ma, you got to sign your name. That's the only way they're going to help me, Ma. I said, do what you want? Told me on the phone, yes, ma'am. So she had told me he was going to call me that night. But she was going to call me back the next day. So she called me back. But see, what she said was she had to talk to Jody. And all meant for them to take his case on, they were going to have to talk to his original. Talk to Miss Jody Lopez, really original attorney. That's the only way that they'll be able to help because they had to get permission from her to help out. But Jody said that she had called Ms. Ivory for the clemency thing. And she said that she wouldn't answer the phone for kept calling. They didn't, nobody would answer the phone for her. But the lady got a secretary. Don't they supposed to have secretaries? Just like she got a secretary in her office. Don't they supposed to have a secretary at the, what that lady is, Ivy, what she is? Governor office.
Oh.
Well, anyway, I got nothing against nobody, but I just feel like Miss Ivory didn't look at the, how you say them that name, petition, when you get complaints and stuff.
Yeah, your petition, people petitioning.
Yeah, she got a lot of petition for Matthew. She got a lot of calls from international people, from overseas. Overseas and stuff. Ain't nothing but my arthritis. Overseas and stuff. But my thing was, you were mayor. I mean, you the governor. She a governor, right? She the governor. And if everybody is sending letters to you, petition to you,
Hold tight for a
calling you.
second. Hold tight for a second. Train. Train. It's the train.
Oh,
Yeah, hold on.
okay. You hear it still?
Mm-hmm. Oops, sorry.
Okay. I ain't hear it.
Okay.
Okay. But I'm just saying, petitions came from all around the world. EU, the ambassador, whole lot of people from third world countries, UK and all of them. My North Carolina, New York. I'm talking about people actually got on the phone to call her office, and she never returned the call. But the lawyer that my cousin had said they had her on, what you call that little thing, podcast, where they can see you and then you go out. You come in and then you go out for a minute. That she had his paperwork in her hand. But my thing is, the job of a governor is, I might be wrong, that she could call and stop an execution. And she the one could get on the phone and say, stop that. Don't do that. Call that off. Just send him back to his cell. Okay. The clemency is the same thing, right? They give you a stay where you be alive another day, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what clemency does, right? Okay, she did none of those. She ain't had no regards to anybody's feeling. But all I say is, what if it was your family? What length would you go to if it was your child? All I'm saying is, if you were there to the trial and they had put forward the evidence, using all the evidence, because they hear evidence in Matthew's trial.
What evidence did they hide? What evidence did they hide?
From Matthew's trial, they didn't let the jury know that Matthew, prior to this incident, that Matthew was shot in his head. They had no knowledge of it. They wasn't told any of that. Second of all, the DA, like I said, Michael Jackson had the head DA. He had the conquest of Brenda Sanders' omission. So that would have stood as somebody else being guilty of killing Mr. Johnson. Okay, those are the two things that they didn't do. And the jury misconduct, which they were bullying the jurors, the last two, the younger one and the one before that, they were bullying them. What I mean by that, if you're a jury, you're not supposed to go out in the hallway and be conversating, talking about what's going on at the trial, because you're not supposed to do that. So when they did that, and then they had to bully her, because when she left out, she wasn't crying. When she came back in the courtroom, she was crying. And then that's when she changed her verdict. When I told you it was 9-3, that's when it came 10-2. I'm just saying, I'm cramping. But that, and I think Mr. T. R.B. Jones should have refused himself off of his case after he got Brenda Sutherland's admission. I don't think he should have been the one that tried Matthew. Because, see, what I'm saying is, how you not biased? You just took her statement against him. Yeah, y'all agreed to send her to Tugweiler for 20 years. But, yeah, and still you got her testify against Matthew through a plea deal you made from greed. The reason I say that because all three were charged with murder. And first, my phone, it's over there. I get it.
Just cut for a second there. And
Take the result.
What he want me to do?
Sound speed.
out.
Tell me what he said to do.
We're gonna start again. We're gonna
Okay.
start recording again.
Okay.
Still rolling this. Yeah, you can kind of push it down and go well enough. Thank you.
Looks good.
Better.
Fix her shirt, her collar in.
Come.
I see the inside, like that part.
Okay.
Yeah. That looks good. All right, thanks, man. All right, take threes up.
Take the result.
Stay
Camera.
rolling.
Camera still rolling.
Slate, Marzetta, Reeves, take 3.
Stand by.
All right.
When you're ready.
All right, Ms. Reeves. So, when Matthew was convicted and sentenced to death, what was going? Were you there in the courtroom, or and what was going through your mind at that moment?
When they found my son guilty that Saturday morning, they had them put me and my daughter outdoors, out of the courtroom. We were not there when they found Matthew guilty. Well, we wasn't in the building. We were put out because it was said that we were picking, that my daughter was picking, because I never went to the bathroom on that side anyway. But anyway, my nieces, and my mom, she was alive then. See, through all this madness, I lost my mama at the same time. When they first locked Matthew up, I lost my mama. But it hurted because they were saying it shouldn't matter about what he did, what he died or lived. It shouldn't matter because he a murderer. But my thing was, and I did say this, if I can find that paper, but I couldn't never find that paper. No matter if they found you guilty or not, you still my child. So when I did this and pointed toward my chest with my hand like that sound like I love you. And Matt did like this twice and smiled. I said, smile when you come out of there. So when he did that, they said that he was throwing no gang sign. If you get you a book for sign language, and you take your 2 fingers and do like that toward your heart, that's showing that you love somebody. And I told him to smile. Smile. When they gave him that sentence, he was coming across the new walkway that they had built. They had built and said, courthouse don't be open on Saturdays. My son's trial went from a Monday to a Saturday morning.
Hold tight for a second. Yeah. Would you say, Marie, we good for being in the way?
I said something. I don't know how you heard it.
Yeah, I know.
Get on Air Force every time.
Yeah.
Yeah, you hear everything, I know.
Like I said, put out over to give it a little bit more left. And it doesn't matter what's in the background because I'm gonna cut it out anyway. I just want a little bit more. No, just right where you had it. That wasn't said. No, go back. Other way. Right there. Yeah, that'll work. Because I can cut all that stuff out. Okay.
Go ahead.
All right. So go back to what you were saying. You remember you were talking about? If not, I got some notes for you here.
What I was talking about, when I told him,
To keep smiling. You said to keep smiling. You told him to keep smiling?
oh, yeah, I pointed toward my heart.
Mm-hmm.
You know how you put your hands up here?
Mm-hmm.
And he did like this and smiled.
Mm-hmm.
And showed his teeth right here, smile for me. And as he was coming down, and like I said, some of the jurors came outside, because like I said, it was on a Saturday morning. And they came outside. Me and my daughter was standing right there because in the front, because where they put us out, I thought they were going to bring my son out too, but they letting the jurors out that way. They went around the other way and put Matt in the thing. But I could see him come across the tussle what I was telling you about. I wasn't inside, but outside of the courthouse, you could see the little trail. But like I said, my niece and my 2 nieces and my goddaughter, she came out of there, they all was crying. That's how I know it went wrong. And my mom, she knew it was wrong. But to say that I knew it was wrong, because I told them, why y'all ain't send my baby to a hospital? Y'all been saying y'all were going to send him to Terry Hardy for the longest. Now all of a sudden y'all want to send him to prison for the rest of his life so y'all can kill him. Why don't you just kill me instead? But that's what I wanted to say. But I just told him to keep his head up and smile. Cause you ain't did no more than nobody else. You been accused. That don't mean you right. They right or wrong. All I know is November 27, 1996. Was a nightmare. Because I can't cook. I can't put down Thanksgiving dinner. Yeah, I don't care about it. Without my master.
So, tell me,
It'll never be the same. Without my master, Julius. They killed my son. It'll never be the same. Never, ever, ever. I wrote Governor House. I wrote Stephen Marsh. I wrote everybody I could possibly do right to help my baby. And I thought he was the worst of the worst. But guess what? He's my hero. Because God said, if you could give up your life for a friend or anybody, and don't say a humble word, did you did as I did. So far as I know, that Thursday, January the 27th, when I left Matthew, he was alive, vibrant, confident, a hand up to his mom. When I left out of there, he threw his hand. He saluted me. And I saluted him back. Because I knew what he meant. He loved me. And I saluted him back. But he told me these words, y'all. I'm never going to forget. He said, Mom, the Supreme Court have never went with me. He said, I don't want to say it, but Mom, they're going to kill my black ass. You understand, Mom? Every time I was telling y'all what to do and how to do it, nobody listened. I said, Matthew, I'm just one person. Can't do it all by myself. He got mad. Just help Julius. Help your other son. Do for him. Whatever, whatever. Blah, blah, blah. But I want the whole world to know this. Here go my right hand to God. I did what they let me do. By law. I did all I could by law. By man-made law. Because you can't go but so far. But how do you judge a man for the character? And of his color of his skin? Will you even know him? You didn't know him to know him as a man. All I wanted to say, I know I have to watch it, and you take it out so I won't get in trouble. But Lopez, K.I., Stephen Marshall, and ADOC, y'all wrong. Because the Supreme Court Justice said that what it do it defies, or what do it do for to kill a mentally ill person and an intellectual person when they don't have a subject to stand. So why was it that they killed Matthew on his intellectual disabilities, and Hall versus Florida, he was intellectual disability. He only had one piece of paper to convert that he was intellectual. But my son had 2 doctors to testify that he was intellectual disabled. Matthew had an IQ of 68 to prove he was above the standards of normal. Anytime the courthouse prosecutor could say that their doctor said that he was on the mental health borderline.
Hold on for a second. Let this jet go by.
Cat. A truck.
No, it's a jet.
Oh, plane.
Air Force.
Oh, I hear it now.
Yeah, Air Force making problems, causing issues again.
But I hold them responsible. Really
Hold on 1 second. You need to do a touch up? And
Should we cut?
Yeah, cut for some cut. You have to skedaddle.
A speed.
Hey, Speed. Sounds on camera, Speed.
Marzetta, Reeves, take 4.
Standing by soft sticks.
All right. So, were you there with Matthew during his final moments at the prison before he was executed?
Well, like I said, me and my daughter, his other sister, we all left to go back to the motel. Within the hour, we left. They let us talk to him. We couldn't stay. My daughter wanted to stay, but they said that her name was not on the list for the overwatching. So we actually had to leave. And then the people, not the people there, we was in Admiral where he was legal injection. We was in Admiral where they did it at. As we was leaving, I told my daughter and my niece, I said, why that black truck there? Why that white truck there? They weren't there when we first came in. So my baby slowed down. She drove it. My daughter slowed down. She said, "You right, Ma. They finna execute my brother." That's what she said. And I said, they not supposed to. They said he'll have to 9 o'clock. That's what we were told when we left. But Allison and the man got a call. He said he had to go. The one I told you they were gonna sit there with the. He told me, he said he gonna take him a glass of wine, the toast up to Matthew, for to make him smile. Mr. Bernard said he sit up like that. I guess he could see them, the lawyers, and then he just laid on back down. He didn't get up. Knowing my son, if he didn't think he was right, they were right. You the fault. I'm talking about they literally had to beat him. But from what I was told, he just came in, laid down on the gurney, did what he was supposed to do. Because my son never liked the needles. None out of all his life. That's what I forgot to tell you, too. He never liked the needles. Not even when he was a little boy. When they give you your shots, immunization and stuff, he would, no, Ma. Don't let him stick me with that needle. No. I would have to hold him. As a little child, I would have to hold him. I remember he got sick. It all came up now. I remember when he got sick, and I had to take all of them to the doctor. And Matthew had to stay in the hospital. He had a temperature of 103.8. And that as a child, that's not Well, that's not a good temperature. But he was outside playing. Skipping, running, ripping. The other children, just, when they got sick, they just get quiet, ripping. I mean, he slapped me. He was mad. You know how his children throw their hands up and stuff. I got hit pretty hard. He said, Ma, I told you don't like needles. Don't like needles. They get caught in you, then do something to you. Don't like needles. He called me last year and told me, Mom, those folks made me take a skin thing. I told them folks they didn't know what they were doing. They put that thing up under my skin. Is that the way they folks been did it, Mom? You know, when they checking for something, they were checking for. And I said, yeah, Matthew, as long as it don't swell, you'll be all right. I said, but if it swell and get to hurting and stuff, just put you a warm rag on top of it. Tell my sister to call me. Tell my sister to call up here. He thought my Cheryl, because that's the one I told you is the practical. She'll practice a nurse now. She passed her exam, state board and stuff. So I asked Cheryl what she tell me. I said, Cheryl, I'll be with me when we come up there. You ask. So she looked at the pink things on his finger and stuff that he was worried about. He said, Matthew, don't worry about that. Look at mine darker than yours. Because she was getting it too, the little pinkness that you have from your skin and stuff. She got it too. And she said, look at mine. They ain't doing nothing to you. Look at mine. So he kind of, eased a little bit. And then he wanted to see Isaiah, but they wouldn't like Isaiah in. Well, they let him in, but they let him to like right there. He couldn't go back there. So he asked them, why my brother can't come? Why my brother can't come in? Why my brother can't come in? Y'all wrong. Y'all ain't supposed to use tickets and stuff like that. His brothers from New York, they tried to come and, by them having, New York, you get a ticket, that's miscellaneous stuff. But Raybon wouldn't let none of his family members in there. He didn't want me in there. And I know it. But he couldn't stop me. Because that was ordained by God. Because everybody that I was coming to Atma, we're going to go to Atma with, they changed their mind. But Mr. Bernard, that man I was telling you about, Mr. Bernard, told me, said, I'll come and get you. And anybody that don't want to ride with you can come. But I have to take y'all first and then come back and get, you have to stay. In other words of saying, I had to have motel fare. Okay, so really I didn't have that money, but he would go take, if I come, he would take me back home. But my God, an angel came and she paid for the whole 4 days. Well, she actually paid for 5. I told her to give money back.
Hold tight. Train. Train.
I know, that's why I got quiet. Then I started swallowing.
I just got one more question for you.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay, and then whatever. I don't got comfortable now. Who house this is? I might go sleep. This your house?
No, ma'am.
No,
So-
it's a friend of mine's house. It's a friend of mine's house. She rents out properties here.
Oh, okay.
And she's an interior decorator, so that's why it's so nice.
Oh, that's Martin Luther King. Right there. That's something serious right there. That's an old wallpaper.
Yeah. So, my last question to you is, is there anything else you want to say about this situation, about your son Matthew, about what happened? Is there anything you want to say about, that you want people to know about Matthew as far as who he really was? Or is there anything else you want to add to this conversation?
Well, Matt and Dewey, which they both were charged with the same crime, capital murder and robbery. My thing is, and I've been wanting to know this, if you say Dewey was gonna be resentenced, it's been 7 years. Michael Jackson, why haven't you resentenced my son? Why haven't you brought him before the court? What's that man's name? I'll say his name in a minute. This return of Michael Jackson. I mean, you knew my boys. You knew him before he was accused of this murder. You knew both of them. And you told me that I wouldn't see Matthew again. So you knew you was gonna kill. You was gonna let them kill him. You should have told me. But by you having that kind of quay of Brenda Southers, you should have produced it at his execution, and he wouldn't have been executed. I say it in your face. I will fight you, and that's what it comes to. Head up. My 63-year-old self, and however I owe you is. But you wrong. And the Supreme Court justice said that it was not right for y'all to kill Matthew, and that's wrongful death. And I could charge y'all with wrongful death. Y'all saying that I can't get anything out of it, or his wrongful death. Yes, I can. It don't take a rocket science to figure out what I want. I want justice to his name. I want everybody to know Matthew wasn't that terrible person that they played the role that he was. Because if any of them had been alive that my son helped, y'all wouldn't have been able to kill him. They would have poured the courtrooms over. Because the elderly people from 2100 block of Sim loved Matthew, respected Matthew. And if half of them had been living when I asked for a petition or just a handwritten note to say they didn't believe he did it, they would have wrote it. They would have wrote it. They would have did whatever they felt like they needed to been did if they had been living. Now, he had a grandmother that she cooked cakes and pie and all of that for the chief of police, Lil Della. His grandma was named Cardia Lamar. And my mother's mother was named Alberta Hill. A lot of people know those names. The reason I wanted to say my mama, Adria Geraldine Reeves Morgan, rest in peace. That's why I wanted to add my mama's name too. Cause she fought hard. She didn't have no voice box, but my mama fought hard for her grandkids. She fought real hard. Miss Matt Lawton, Miss Mott, and Miss Cooper. My mama worked for those folks. And they helped. Because initially I had two boys. Just wanted to say that. Had two. They both, Matthew and Jude, was on death row. They had Jude on death row and Matthew on death row for Mr. Woody Johnson. But my mom, knowing who she knew and working for who she worked with, because Miss McLaughlin was a children's home worker, supervisor, here in Selma. Mr. Cooper, you know the Coopers, they own a lot of stuff. The short lady. The Coopers, my mama was their maid for years. She seen about them. She seen about all their children, even their animals. My mama had keys to their house. But I said that to say this. Matthew wasn't the worst of the worst, because if he the worst of the worst, God wouldn't have let him came into this world. What I wanted to say was, I was very confused when they charged all three of them with capital murder and robbery. But from my understanding, you had to be accomplished, what do you call it? Right, a co-defender and a co-defendant, because there were three of them. All of them was charged with capital murder and robbery, first-degree robbery. But what I'm saying is, however you say, picture. What I'm trying to say is, the police, the district attorney, Gurner, and all of them, they was greedy. It was all about greed. Because they never specifically said who was the co-offender. They called Matthew the principal. Or what Judy was the man that get shot but one time. How could they, all 3 or 5, one bullet? Doesn't make sense to me, but each is all. I'm just happy to know that somebody wanted to hear me, somebody understood me, and wanted to know what the mother felt about her son being executed. I don't know how to feel, but I do know that I wouldn't want my worst enemy to go through what I went through. Not my worst enemy. I don't have an enemy. I wouldn't want my worst enemy to go through what I went through. My family that day at Alamo screamed so loud. My daughter screamed so loud. You could hear her. Probably could have heard her from Montgomery to Seal. She screamed so loud. I never heard my baby holler like that. She never but twice ever seen her Uncle Matthew. But to scream like that, she had to know her Uncle Matthew from the inside out. See, when you're looking from the outside, you can't judge nobody for the you know how you look at a book. You can't judge me by the cover from the outside. You gotta look at me from the inside out. And once you see me from the inside out, then you can say who I am and who I'm not. But till you can sit in my shoes and go what I've been through, how can you judge me? But I do want them to realize, I want to know who got paid off of my son's murder, because he was wrongly killed. Who got paid? I ain't getting none. I ain't getting no money. I had to borrow money to pay for my son's funeral. Who got paid off of him? What did my Metropolitan get off of Matthew? Because there was an insurance on him. They put his name in cap letters. I've been reading. Yes, I have. Like I said, I'm not no scholar, but I can read real good. And they take an insurance policy out on you when you on death row. All inmates warded to the state get paid. They get paid to house them. My son wasn't a state inmate. Matt wasn't a state inmate. Matt was a county inmate. And they had a duty of the 14th Amendment to protect the mentally ill and the handicapped. And they did not do it. That's all I have.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for your time and everything that you gave us.
And I thank you greatly for giving me your time. Because I've been trying to put this story out way before they killed my son.
Right.
7 Times Journal wouldn't even write nothing down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But it's okay. Because, see, y'all, I can't hold no tongue, but I know a man from Galilee. He's healing the sick, Lord, Lord. Oh, and he's raising the dead. Mary's baby, Son of Man. What they call him? They call him Jesus. Glory be to God. Thank you, Matthew. I love you, baby. What they call? They called him Jesus. God to God. Giving all honor to God, because that's who it was. Giving all honor to God. Now, Matthew told me that. Said, Mom, just keep your hands in God's hands. It's going to be all right. But I will say this. Before I left him that Thursday, I had spent 9 hours with him. And before I left Matthew that evening, he told me, said, Mama, I love you. I said, I love you too, Matthew. What's that? He said, Mom, I'll never forget looking up toward the ceiling, scratched his head. Knocking on that window and said, can I pray? I said, go ahead. On that side. Right there. He stayed down there. And he said, Mom, got up. It's all right. He looked in his sister's eyes and he told her, he said, I'm gonna die. He said, sister, they're gonna kill me. Told Sheriff. He said, I love you, cuz. This cuz that's what he called her. He said, they're gonna kill me. Allison said, told her to lower our voice because they were listening to everything we said. I remember it like it was yesterday. So I ain't scared to die, Mom. I'm just scared what the Supreme Court gonna do. Because they ain't never went with me. The 11th Circuit did twice. The last time they had 10 judges. That's what I can't understand, y'all. Got 10 federal judges. How come they not hold a stay? Or injunction? At least to 12 o'clock. Jody said she couldn't understand. She said she'd been a lawyer working with a firm for a lot of years. She said she didn't understand. Me either. Called Sonia Mariano. What's the other woman's name? Berkeley. It's them women. It's the Chief Justice. Them women. Before Miss Jackson, it was the 3 white women. they justices. And that one man, that Berkeley man, Beyer, he signed Matthew paper.
Mhm.
See, when the two that died,
Mhm.
the two justices that died,
Mhm.
that's who gave Matthew the first go around.
Yeah. Mhm.
When that lady died,
Mhm.
he still had Miss Sonia Mayana, that Berkeley lady, that other lady,
Yeah.
and it's a man he had. But see, it's nine justice.
Mhm.
You have to have 6 to live.
Mhm.
That's what they said, 6 or 5, whatever it was.
Yeah.
Well, I know the first time when that lady, I can't remember her name, Giddens,
Mhm.
she kept my son alive
Mhm. Yeah.
because she got all the rest of them to vote with her,
Mhm.
the same matter.
Yeah. Well, I think we are good with the interview. I'm sorry. I think we're good with the interview.
But just let me know what you have to take out and what you.
Okay. I
But
will.
see, I don't want to get you in
Yeah,
trouble
yeah.
or me in trouble as
Oh,
well.